3 minutes ago. Why did this take so long to load? All right, here we go, Jet. Let's do it. We're chilling. Let's watch the Beyond Light
kicks off
ViDoc.
the next trilogy of stories that we're trying to tell with Destiny.
Thanks for helping, Chad. Sorry. I hate those moments where I can't find
Players are going to go on a journey to discover the true nature of light and dark.
It's the beginning of players learning more about the darkness. And in fact, going so far as to wield it.
King Arthur, thanks for the 44 months. Welcome back, King
It's
Arthur.
about leaving comfort and safety behind, walking a different road than one that you may have believed you were destined for.
What makes something bad? What makes darkness dark?
Who's right? Who wasn't? How are those learnings going to change the characters that you have gotten to know over the last 6 years?
Whoa. That fucking Drifter, man, he's up to no good. 100%.
Beyond Light's really the beginning of a new adventure. Guardians, for the longest time, have been bathed in the light, sort of this altruistic force fighting back evil. And now we're starting to move into that gray area between the light and dark.
If the darkness reaches out, we must reach back.
I will not sanction this.
In Season of Arrivals, the Vanguard is divided. You have some characters telling you, you know, we should fight these ships, and we have other characters who are saying, no, 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 we should find out what they want. We should get to know them and understand more. But it definitely comes to a head.
It's actually fun watching this on
next
stream
year
with
in
you guys.
Destiny is really just about how all the different characters and factions are reacting to these disappeared destinations and what that means as the pyramids have arrived in our system, not for the first time, but for the second time.
We're going to see the return of a character who's been absent for a pretty long time in The Stranger, and boy, does she have a lot to say. And she
beard's not
has
white.
a lot of time to explain.
When I know more, you'll know more.
She has shown up to encourage us to take on the darkness, and the only way to truly stop it is to work with it.
And here comes our guardian, right on time.
It's me! I think that's my cue.
Why did the darkness invite us here?
That's a deep voice.
Europa is
That's
literally
you, chat. That's
like
you.
a time capsule.
Europa is huge.
Killer destination, freezing cold.
Desolate.
Some of the most beautiful spaces I've ever seen in a video game.
Good. I like all that.
There was a lot built on Europa during the Golden Age, and a lot of that was built underground. Clovis Bray had some research facilities there, really pushing the limits of technology and innovation there,
Ooh,
maybe
I like
stepping into some things that we shouldn't have.
Ooh, I like
Under
it.
the
I like
ice,
it.
all kinds of secrets.
I'm so excited for what players are going to find.
The raid. 6 people. It's a raid.
The storm on Europa was actually something we've wanted to do for a long time.
We wanted it to feel harsh.
The weather system is so awesome. Like, you're walking through an open space and all of a sudden things start happening.
That's actually pretty dark.
Coming across like Fallen or Vex for the first time, you can barely make out the glow in their eyes.
Nice.
The sound of the wind, the ice will change based on what the weather is looking like. You'll actually feel every piece of the environment changing around you to match the storm.
That's exciting. But just letting you know, you could also go outside and all those things will happen too. But I'm still excited
Europa
for
itself
this.
is a pretty foreboding place. Aramis is there in advance of us, and she set up a forward base. She has lieutenants who have gotten their hands on Stasis, gotten their hands on the darkness, and they're learning to wield it.
One by one, we will rise again.
Bro, I'm not an
And so I think
actor.
her motivations are really interesting, too.
Today, we begin breaking free from our chains.
Aramis really challenges a lot of the ways that we think about
That was dope.
light and darkness. She's gonna make you think about your relationship with the Traveler.
Welcome back, Scream. Thank you, dude.
She's a compelling leader, and she has a vision. And especially after the collapse of their society, people, I think, the Fallen wanted someone to follow.
Is the light gonna be enough? I think we've seen that we need some new tools to fight our enemies with. Maybe it's time to fight fire with fire.
What new
or ice
tools?
with ice.
Tell us. Subclasses.
Stasis is, not just a set of new supers, but it's a new damage type. We've got Solar, Void, Arc, and now we've got Stasis.
Cool.
The idea for Stasis all really came back from the gameplay idea of freezing someone.
That was kind of the theme that everyone kind of rallied behind. Dima's an amazing concept artist, had some images that really kind of put us on the right path.
What really was landing with that was the more crystalline notion.
I don't think there's a chance we hear anything about
So when we say
trials in
cosmic
this.
ice, that's kind of where the cosmic comes in.
Dude.
Once he freezes solid, I'm able to hit him again and just shatter him in pieces.
I'm so excited to see how this
The
plays out in
pieces break
Crucible.
apart and explode into sharp shards that can damage you. So all of that kind of came together when we landed on that theme.
I wonder if everyone's frames are gonna go to shit. Like, is everyone's frames just gonna go to absolute shit?
Stasis is gonna not only change the way that you can attack or approach combat, there's also some really great ways that you can upgrade it.
Then you start getting into like the more interesting parts, things that we're calling aspects and fragments, which are additional ways to modify your subclass. Aspects are a little bit more potent, and then the fragments are the things that are class agnostic, but depending on what your class is and depending on what your aspects are and how you want to play, you're probably going to be starting to select different ones.
I'm not gonna lie, that shit
This is
confuses
just the
the hell
beginning
out
for
of me.
Stasis. We're going to continue to expand on it. We're just excited for players to get their hands on this.
I'm excited to see what that's like, because that confuses the hell out of me. But yeah, they are
When
playing
we're
on
creating
PC
a new
with a
palette
controller.
like Stasis,
Crazy.
we do what we call a source jam. Everyone on the team blocks out about a week where we can say, okay, you're gonna go out into the world, microphone recorder, record anything that reminds you of cosmic ice.
What?
That gives us the palette that we can build the eventual sounds out of.
I found personally that the best way to do it was at night. But doing scream screeches and blood-curdling yells is a little scary at night. Then
that's a
I
human.
had a really rumbly stomach, and that also was recorded. I think there was also a breast pump.
Hell yeah, dude. Titty sounds. I'm excited.
You have to make use of what you got.
All right.
In Beyond Light, we have new exotic weapons for you.
Yeah, you do.
No Time to Explain is coming back.
It's coming back.
Instead of just being the gun that refills your magazine when you land precision hits, you actually get a little time portal, and it starts spitting out rounds alongside you.
What the hell?
You can actually have that on top of the arc soul, so you can be your own little mini firing squad.
So you can have your
built
arc
for it.
buddy plus your little sign to explain thing.
Another one we have is the Lament. It uses up your sword's energy to give yourself a new combo that ends up in a big spinning slash. Probably the largest selling point for a lot of people is that it slices right through barrier champions.
Oh, damn.
I think the largest draw for most people is actually going to be the fact that it is a chainsaw sword.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The question is, will that become the
For Beyond Light, we
DPS
really
king?
wanted to create exotic armor pieces that formed a key part of your build around which all the other parts of your build could revolve. For example, the Titan gets the Icefall Mantle, which is a set of exotic arms that looks like it is crafted from Golden Age tech. When you activate it, you sort of slam your arms down, create a burst of stasis energy, and then you cover yourself in an overshield. The Warlock exotic is Necrotic Grip. If you are facing a wave of thralls running at you, you can nail them with your melee attack, and it starts to burst and sort of cascade through the whole group.
So that's gonna be asshole in PvP. Really cool in PvE, but no one's gonna use that in PvP.
There's
my
a lot
bygones
there
farm.
for newcomers coming in too. If you've got a friend who hasn't tried it out, it's a really great time to jump in on New Light, that entry experience for free players.
This bingo card is absolutely killer.
Last year, when New Light launched, we brought back a small portion of the Cosmodrome. This year, we're bringing back a much larger portion of the destination.
Oh, yes, dude. I'm so
It
excited
takes some of the experiences that started with original Destiny 1, but puts them and stitches them together in a different way and adds new things and tells a different story.
What you're going to meet in this new opening experience is a character with not one, but two names from Fast and the Furious, Shah Han.
Thank the light. I didn't think we had other Guardians on patrol here.
What I love about the Cosmodrome is it feels like Destiny distilled.
Dude, I'm so excited to fucking play all the different things on the Cosmodrome again. I'm
Season
a weirdo.
of the Hunt picks up where Arrivals left off.
I want to find spin
Other
metal.
forces are taking advantage of the darkness to make their move forward,
Was that the Omnigul strike?
including Xivu Arath, a sister of Oryx, and she's taking this opportunity to build up an army. And we're working with Osiris to try to stop her.
Osiris goes out, stumbles across these hive growths that are driving combatants crazy.
Osiris is in trouble, and of course, you're his only hope.
Bro, if he dies, do we lose trials? We better save his ass. Oh god, it's Aldrin, isn't it?
We warned you it was going to be dangerous down here. Impossible.
What the hell?
We finally catch up to what we saw at the end of Forsaken, where we saw Aldrin being brought back to life by a ghost.
Oh yeah.
Aldrin, who now refers to himself as Crow, he doesn't know what he did. The slate's been wiped clean when he was resurrected as a Guardian.
We know what he's done, and we know what he could be capable of doing. So now we're going to spend some time watching him go back and forth. And that's going to question how we look at him, how we look at ourselves, how we look at the light, how we look at darkness.
In Season of the Hunt, we're
Wow,
partnering
Aldrin's
with
so
the Crow
key.
and Osiris to take down the High Celebrant. It's creating these cryptoliths around the system, and those cryptoliths are attracting Elixian Cabal and corrupting them.
So is this next season
So
called
Xivu
Season
Arath
of the
is essentially
Hunt?
corrupting herself an army, and it's our job to put a stop to it.
I'm really excited to see Xivu Arath fleshed out more and to find out more about her relationship with Savathun and what that means for year 4 of Destiny.
Season of the Hunt.
Savathun has been placing dominoes, and at the end of year 4, she's gonna knock down the dominoes. We're gonna see what she's been really up to. And so this year, she's putting the last pieces in place.
Dope. Can
Destiny
it
is
just be
a
November
really
10th?
incredible world. And
Yes.
there are so many stories for us to tell.
We have a lot to look forward to beyond Light, then the Witch Queen, and then Lightfall, and all the seasonal content between. We feel like we've got a really great way to bring people together.
They've got a lot ahead of them.
Working through COVID and working through some of the other turmoil in the world right now has been really challenging.
I have to admit, I've been pleasantly surprised with how well we've been able to get things done.
We're committed to your characters and your community of players. We want to meet you where you are.
Yeah, where's
I think the
Cade,
thing
bro?
that excites me the most about Destiny's future is how much it's rooted in where we come from.
Seeing villains revealed and finding out secrets that we've been hinting at for years.
Yeah,
Wow,
doing
look
this
at
whole
the
thing
team
from
that we're
home
building
is very
and
impressive.
continue to grow and hire. The new leaders that are coming up in Destiny, that gets me super excited.
I just
Destiny's
wanted...
best days are ahead of us.
I hope so. I just want it to be November 10th, bro. Come on, man. 2 more weeks. See that Shade Step freezing all the enemies? There you go, dude. I already pre-ordered, so I'm chilling. Includes no time to explain exotic pulse rifle. There you have it, my friends. Not gonna lie. Looks pretty exciting. I guess there's a lot to talk about now, but I don't really know where to start. That was dope. All right, let me load back up Destiny, dude. Disappointed Jake Trials first weekend. Where did you just get that information? Sent you a DM on Twitter for the roadmap. Oh no. No. This is actually a really, really big deal. They completely fucked up there. That's a really horrible, stupid play. Like, let me try to find the roadmap. I don't really see it on Bungie.net. Oh, they fucked up real bad there. Trials 11-13 with the depth weapons. It's endgame content, dude. You can't drop endgame content 3 days after a gigantic DLC. You can't do it. You cannot do that. Thank you, JS Savvy. Yeah, so you've got, you know, all this shit happening on the 10th. The 10th through the, I guess, the 13th of January is when the next season is, it looks like. Adept weapons added to Trials literally like a few days after. Dude. They screwed up. They screwed up bad. That's really shitty. Damn it, dudes. That's really bad. Trials is gonna be dead. It's not gonna be dead. It's just it's gonna be a huge hit to the playlist. They're gonna absolutely fuck the playlist by that, doing that. That's all. I'll explain why in a second, guys. Give me a second. So chat, Trials of Osiris has been confirmed to be coming out on the 13th, which is the first Friday, just 3 days after Beyond Light comes out. It's been confirmed via the new roadmap, and this is a huge misstep in my opinion, and something I have fought hard to make sure didn't happen. I've had plenty of discussions with different people at Bungie. I've sent emails to different people at Bungie clearly demonstrating all the different reasons why I think this is a huge misstep, but let's get into it because I'm nervous. I'm nervous. So Trials is endgame content. Just like the raid, which was delayed about a week and a half so that people can jump into it when they're ready, Trials is endgame content and also needed to be delayed. Trials, because of its power level and a bunch of other reasons, is going to be really tough on this first weekend. So, power level. We can gain 200 levels in power. We're 1060 right now. We can get all the way to 1260. At the very beginning of the season, there's a massive gap in power. As you get later into the season, everyone gets closer together. Like right now, everybody's pretty much 1060. But that first week, you have people who are going to be 100 power, 150 power, higher than other people. Because some people are going to have work weeks and only be able to grind for a few hours between that Tuesday and that Friday. Some people like me, their job is to grind. So I'm going to be insanely high power. What this is going to do is cause a massive gap in power and make Trials of Osiris a very untouchable playlist for a shit ton of people. I'm talking like 95% of the community will not really be able to touch Trials in the beginning. Also, with a bunch of new content coming out November 10th, no one's really going to be that excited or interested in going into Trials of Osiris endgame PvP on November 13th. Very few people are going to need Pinnacles on November 13th, and Trials gives you a unique opportunity to get Pinnacles, but Pinnacles are endgame, massive power-raising content you don't really need until you're at that endgame power. So the incentive for people to enter Trials won't be there on that first Friday. Why is people not entering Trials on the first weekend such a problem? And I didn't really get into the whole point of like, with a ton of new content, no one's gonna care about getting into Trials. Everyone's gonna be excited about grinding all the new missions and doing all the new quests and doing all the new things. Trials, it won't feel new, it's gonna feel old. No one's gonna give a shit about it. So why is people not going to Trials a problem? If you have the first weekend of Trials being only 5% of the player base interested in playing it, only the super grinders, only the super sweaty players are in there, it's gonna set the precedent immediately for Trials being a complete sweat fest and an absolutely horrible experience for anybody who's not a top tier Destiny player. It's going to set the precedent right away. Because there's going to be groups of people who get together with their buddies. Hey, Beyond Light's out. Let's try this thing called Trials. And they go in and get stomped. Whoa, that was tough. They try again, get stomped. Okay, well, obviously, this playlist isn't for us, and they're never going to come back. Ever. But if you delayed it like 3 or 4 weeks, you'd actually have a lot of people going in at the same time. The player base would be thriving because people would be at their endgame powers. It's endgame content. They'd be at their end game powers, ready to play end game content. They'd be excited because they'd already burned through the other content, and they'd be ready to get the new Trials weapons. They'd get ready to try this new Trials experience. It'd be an event, and people would be all about it, and it'd be a large player base, which would make it so it was thriving. It would make it so it wasn't this playlist that nobody could enjoy. But if you have 5% of the player base in there and they're all sweaty as hell, which they will be week 1, it's going to set the precedent really early that Trials of Osiris is not a place for anybody unless you're top tier. And for people who are like, that's what Trials is supposed to be. It's supposed to be sweaty. Understand that even with 10 million people playing Trials, it would still naturally be sweaty to go flawless. You don't go flawless without playing good teams. People will still struggle to go flawless. Going flawless, winning 7 straight games will always be difficult. You infuse 10 million people, I know that's an exaggeration, into the Trials playlist, and you're still going to have a tough time going flawless. It doesn't make Trials easy. Because I've seen that be my counter argument. A lot of times people are like, Jake, Trials isn't supposed to be easy. And I'm not arguing it's supposed to be easy. I'm arguing it's supposed to be fun and welcoming. Trying to get to 3 wins for a reward shouldn't be a complete disaster for everybody. Trying to maybe get to 5 wins and maybe trying that weekly Trials bounty shouldn't be an excruciating experience. It should be a warm and welcoming thing for people to try. Because with a thriving player base, getting those rewards shouldn't be impossible for an average player. It's currently pretty impossible for an average player because Trials is so freaking sweaty that precedent has been set. Do not enter unless you're a sweat lord. And with it releasing on week 1, I think that precedent is going to be set once again. You got any questions? I'm happy to answer something for you guys. But as I said, I sent all of these points to different people at Bungie. I had a 40-minute phone call with somebody about this. I broke all these points down for them. I sent emails to people. I sent Twitter DMs to people. I've done everything I can to give in what I believe is an expert opinion. I've probably played more Trials than anybody in the world between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. I've tried to give my opinion out there, letting them know, hey, this is really important here, but it didn't get listened to. I don't know. For those who don't agree or have questions, what are your questions? How do we discuss this? Stonewall, that's up to you, man. Because, I mean, if we have good discussion time here, we can add parts in. But if we don't, then probably cut it just a moment ago. So my bygones... Oh, I went to my hunter. I was about to say it's gone. It's weird because in 5 years ago, in Shadowkeep, in Taken King, they delayed Trials a few weeks for this exact reason. They delayed it 2 weeks. Then they had a little issue with Night Stalkers and delayed it 2 more. But it ended up being perfect. It was 4 weeks delayed. It was perfect. Literally perfect. But yeah, I don't know. Even though they did it perfectly 5 years ago, they're not doing it this time. Do you think a contest modifier would help? No, I don't. A little bit, a tiny bit. I don't think people are going to want to enter Trials week 1. Dude, you're at work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like most people are. You've been getting an hour or 2 of gameplay in every night after work because you have to spend time with your family and stuff too. You can't just grind Destiny. You've been playing maybe 3, 4, 5 hours so far beyond light. You're off work on Friday. You're not gonna be like, I want to form a sweaty group of 3 and play Trials. Fuck no. 95% plus of the community is not gonna have any interest in that. They're gonna want to go and play new missions. They're gonna want to do the new things. Trials isn't new. The new weapons are new, but it's just not what people are gonna want to do. It's not at all. If you waited 4 weeks, it's what everybody would want to try. You know, people would be going into the playlist being excited as hell with their friends, like they've been waiting for this. It's new content. It's new things to have. But on that first Friday, there's still a million new things for people to do and have, and this will be on the back end of everybody's to-do list. Unless you're a super PvP sweat. Like me, it's going to be on the absolute back burner of everybody's to-do list. And the reason I don't think Contest Modifier will help is for the reasons we just talked about. I think Contest Modifier would make it a little bit more welcoming. Your average Joe, who's now 1,080 power, because they've only had a few hours to grind, they've gone up 20 power. Your average Joe is now going to be able to play Trials without a power disadvantage, but all the reasons I just discussed are still going to prevent him from wanting to play. You still are going to have tons of other content to be focused on, tons of other new things to be doing. All of those reasons still exist. So my question is, if people don't want to do it, why do they have to do it? They just won't do it. The question is, if people don't want to do it, why do they have to do it? I don't understand the question, Astral. So here's the thing. Let me get optimistic for a second, okay? My hope is that after the first couple weeks of Trials, people are going to be ready to enter and the playlist will start to become a little bit more populated. That's my hope. My hope is that on week 3 or 4 or 5, when more and more of the player base are now high power and they've done all the content, they're ready to do something new, that the player base will start to pick up. And I truly believe it will. I really genuinely think it will pick up. I don't think it's going to be a complete disaster every week. But I think that the potential for Trials to be a beautiful thing was 10 times better with the idea of delaying it 4 or 5 weeks and having everybody jump in at the exact same time than the current situation of having it be a disaster week 1, a very big problem week 2, and then starting to kind of get less problematic week 3 and 4. You're just spreading people's entrances into the playlist out, which will make it tougher for everybody when they try to get in. My viewership will go up 100%. Dude, my stream that Friday is gonna be pretty fucking massive, I bet. Which should probably tell you how it should give more validity to what I'm saying here, right? It should genuinely make you realize what I'm saying is, if I'm this pissed off about it and my stream's probably gonna fucking blow up on Friday, it should probably give you an idea of how problematic this really is and give it more credibility. Because if my stream's gonna fucking blow up and this is a financial benefit for me, which it probably will be, I should be excited, right? But I love Trials so much and love I love Destiny so much and want it to succeed so much that this really upsets me. Even though my stream's probably gonna blow up that weekend. What you're saying is going to make the people have to play Trials week 1 if they don't want to? No, I don't think very many people are going to, Astral. No one's gonna have to, that's the thing. Week 1, this is actually really an important point. In order to get all of the powerful drops done on all 3 characters in a week, you need to spend like 40 hours almost playing the game. 30 to 40 hours playing the game to get every single powerful drop on all 3 characters. So most people who care a lot about Destiny and grinding all their power, which maybe 10% of the player base really gives a shit enough to play 30 or 40 hours week 1 and is able to do that, they're gonna need 7 days to get through all those powerfuls. You add a big ol' pinnacle Trials of Osiris drop in on the 3rd or 4th day of the content. Nobody, not even me probably, has done all the powerful rewards yet. No one is gonna feel like they need these drops. No one's gonna be out of other drops. You know what I mean? There's nobody who's gonna be out of other drops. A lot of people are gonna wait to play Trials until they need those pinnacles. No one's gonna need those pinnacles. There's gonna be so many other new things and powerful things for everybody to do. They did not mention anything about bounties. That's not what ViDocs are about. ViDocs are about like showing off what they've been building and getting people excited for it. Don't get me wrong, guys. The ViDoc was cool. Europa looks dope. The Cosmodrome looks cool. The subclasses look cool. The weapons look cool. I'm excited as hell for Beyond Light. Like, don't get me wrong here. But everything I saw, I should pick up bounties. Everything I saw is just overshadowed for me as a 40 to 50 hours a week Trials streamer by the fact that Trials is coming out week 1. That piece of news is so much more important to me than anything else they could have shown me that I'm very frustrated and a little worried.